welcome to my channel. I'm Rhonda. I'm glad to have you here because this is part 2 of my Orange Yarn Challenge set, where I created a fun, whimsical set for a little girl to have a really fun springy afternoon garden tea party or picnic. And I created a blanket, a hat, and a poncho, which I showed you in the first video. And I created it in part with Robin double knit yarn in tangerine that I purchased on sale at Wool Warehouse. I didn't really need orange yarn, and I don't usually use orange yarn, but I had to buy it because it was such a great sale, and I thought the color looked so pretty. But when I got it, it reminded me of a pylon that warns people against construction. And I thought, well, I've got to figure out something to do with it. And I had some suggestions for hunting apparel, which is a great idea, but I don't know any hunters, so that was a no-go for me. And some Halloween patterns, which absolutely is a great idea, but I was looking for something a little bit more unique and different. And some people can wear this color really well. For me, no. As you can see, it just isn't great for my fair skin, and it's just really bright. So if you saw my first video about this set, then you would have seen all of the details of what I made. I'm going to review what I've made by showing you again, but if you want to see the details, I will link you to that first video so you can go back and see the yarns that I used for that. And also I told you what stitch patterns I used and exactly how I did it, what patterns I used, so you can go back and check that. But first, I'm going to show you what I've made, and then I'm going to show you the second part. I think you're going to love it. So the first part was this picnic blanket with the detailing of the butterfly, this beautiful striping. If you want to see what stitch it is, I do have a tutorial for it, so you can try it for yourself. It's just gorgeous how the colors work, and go back to that video to check out exactly what I did with it, with the flower border. And then I paired it with this gorgeous hat for a little girl for her tea party, and with this stunning bright poncho that I'm super excited about, that she can wear for the occasion to make it really special for herself. So that is part 1. And again, if you want details for it, please check out that first video. And now I'm going to part 2 to show you what else I've made. Okay, so for this next project in this ensemble of the garden tea party, I've used so many different types of yarn, and some of it was yarn I've had around for a long time, my scrap yarn that I was so happy to find a use for. And I also used this disc that I found at Dollar Tree that I needed, and you're going to see exactly what I used it for. I have to move all this yarn aside to show you, but I'm going to show you exactly what I've used for which item when I show you the project. There's a lot of yarn here. Okay, so now that our special little girl has her fun blanket that she can throw on the grass and put on her fancy hat and poncho to feel special, well, if she's going to have a tea party, picnic, she needs something to serve. So that's what I created, something to serve. So let me show you now. So here it is, this beautiful tea service for 2 with all these luscious pastries. We talk about yummy yarn, and this is yummy yarn. So let me show you all the pieces of this set. So for the first part, I used a combination of Pound of Love acrylic yarn in Thistle. I love this color. This is one of my favorite colors of Pound of Love. It's gorgeous for a budget yarn. It's soft, it's squishy, it's huge. These skeins, if you haven't used them, I highly recommend it. There's so much of it. It is 16 ounces, 1,020 yards. You can get it for $11 or $12, maybe even less on sale, and that's in Canadian dollars. It's always such a good deal for all the yarn you get, such yarny goodness. So For this first part that I'm going to show you, I use this. I also use Pound of Love in white as well. Okay, so first we have this adorable teapot, and I've used the rose color from my scrap yarn that I used in the blanket for the cheeks. I've used these safety eyes, and that means that it may not be safe for children under 3. This set is more appropriate for a little girl who's maybe 4 to 6 years old. Look how pretty that is. Now this is a pattern that I will link you to below, and it does have multiple pieces I added to this set. But this one is part of a set with this beautiful pattern, adorable teapot. Now the other part that I used, the thistle and the white, is this tray. And this tray is what I use that disc for. So here is the disc I found at Dollar Tree. I was looking for an insert because I wanted to make the tray sturdy enough to hold all the items that I have on it without drooping and not being very functional. So I found the perfect size, this plaque. It's the perfect circumference, 9 inches, and what I did was turn it upside down so the top is flat, but you don't even feel this little part underneath at all. So it was the perfect item to use. I just cut off the tie, put it inside. Now the original pattern has it 1 layer, but I made it 2 layer. I liked it. I was going to do 2 layer anyways because I love the detailing of the white on the bottom and the purple on the top. And I did the same edging that was on the teapot around the lid and at the bottom, that little frilly edging. And I joined the 2 sides with that edging. And I also added the handles so the tray can be held like this. I thought that was really cute. So I took the pattern and I added on to it just to make it mine and to make it perfect for how I wanted it, how I envisioned it. So next I have the teacups and the saucers, and I made a set of 2, which is part of the pattern to make 2, and here they are. How adorable is this? They are so cute. I also use the safety eyes for the cups and some embroidery black velvet thread for the eyelashes and for the smiley mouth, and inside is this tea, and I used this color, which is gingerbread. No longer exists. I got this secondhand. It's been around for a long time. Bernat Super Value. You can see it's an old label. I'm not sure when this is from, but it's great yarn, perfect color for tea, and the color doesn't show completely accurate because of the lighting I have. I think it's a little bit nicer. It's a little bit browner, less yellowy looking. And it is acrylic 4-weight and washable in the color gingerbread. So I used that for the tea. It was perfect. There you go. And the little plates are also in that white Pound of Love with that little matching frilly edge. So 2 of those each for a little set. So a little garden party for 2. So cute, huh? Okay, now let me take these off. I've got all these little pastries here. Okay, so next I made this platter, and this is my addition to the existing pattern. I wanted a little platter for the pastries that would have a lip that goes up so the pastries don't fall off, and I added the little edging as well. So I just created some stitching around without increasing, so it started to move upwards just a little bit to create that little lip. And what are the pastries I put on the plate? There are several of them. So in that existing pattern that I'm going to link you to, there are a couple of adorable croissants. There you go. So you can see the little folds in them. I hope. I made 2 of those. Really teeny croissants. And the other little pastry that was in this pattern are chocolate chip cookies. And they look perfectly like the color of chocolate chip cookies. Yummy, no calories, love it. So the yarn I used for that was this yarn, and this is also an acrylic yarn, no label, I'm sorry, but it's the perfect color for the chocolate chip cookie base. It's a worsted weight, just a nice creamy light beige color. And then for the chocolate chips, I use this Lion's brand, Lion's Pride wool spun in the color coffee. Again, this is probably a discontinued yarn. I purchased it a long time ago at Dollarama. Usually Dollarama, when they had name brands, it was because they were discontinued yarns, but it was so perfect. It's really an interesting strand of yarn. I'm not sure how that's spun, but really nice and thick. This is a 5, so I just worked with it, and it worked out well for those chocolate chips, and it really does look chocolatey, doesn't it? It looks yummy. So this is also acrylic, but it's a blend of 80% acrylic and 20% wool. I'm not really sure if it's washable or not. With these symbols, I'm not really sure about that. Maybe you can read the symbols, but I wasn't really too concerned about it. I wouldn't throw those little tiny pastries in a washing machine. I would just wash them in some soapy water, wash them by hand, because they're so teeny tiny. So anyways, this was my chocolate color. And I have some other chocolate things. I have a little chocolate pinwheel with the white icing on the inside. And this icing, I used this Loops and Threads Soft and Shiny in white. And it is so shiny that it looks like icing sugar. It really does. It looks so luscious and yummy. And it's so nice and soft. And there's the chocolate pinwheel. I use that same Lion's Pride coffee yarn and this white Loops and Threads Soft and Shiny yarn. And this also is 100% acrylic, soft and squishy, and just a lovely, lovely yarn. And especially for icing because of the shininess of it. Okay, next, I've got so many nice treats to show you. I made a blueberry turnover. Now this was my design. Who doesn't love a blueberry turnover? So I used that same yarn to create the outside. And the blueberry yumminess on the inside, I used some landscape yarn, and it was just some scrap landscape with some purple in it. And it just, with that roving yarn, the way it works up, it actually looks like blueberry to me. Yum. So that's that one. And what else do I have? Okay, I have this lemon Danish. And the lemon part, I used another one of Loops and Threads Soft and Shiny in the colorway yellow. Not creative color names, but that's okay. It works. And that shininess makes it look like luscious lemon filling. Yum. And for the outside of it, I used a little bit more of a yellowy color yarn. And again, this is my scraps. It is acrylic. It is a 4-weight. I don't have the label. I don't have the color of it. And I'm sure it's discontinued, but just that bit of yellowy look to it, I thought was perfect for this lemon Danish. Are you getting hungry? Talk about yummy yarn. This brings it to a whole new level. Okay, so next I have a jelly roll. And again, I used this yarn for the outside, and for the inside, more scrap yarn in this yummy cherry red color. And it's probably more like a 3-weight, which is really nice because it's 2 layers here, so having that thinner one was really nice. This one, I believe, has a bit of sparkle in it, although you probably can't see. It worked perfectly for that jelly filling. Yum. Next, I have a cinnamon roll. Look at that. And the cinnamon roll has some white icing on top. And of course, I used the loops and threads, soft and shiny white, because it looks like the icing. And you can see underneath that nice, yummy cinnamon color. And of course, for that, I used this gingerbread color, which worked out perfectly. And that looks just like cinnamon. And I just love the way it looks with that icing on top. Okay, next, gotta have a chocolate donut. Oh, yum. So for the chocolate donut, of course, I used this wool spun in coffee, the Lion brand Lion's Pride. That makes a great chocolate coating. And this light color for the bottom of the donut. And I'll link you to the pattern for this donut below as well. So if you'd like to make a donut, you can. And again, no calories. I made another kind of donut. Gotta have a vanilla sprinkle donut. Look at that. And of course I used the same white yarn, the loops and threads, soft and shiny, and with that nice beading sprinkles on it, and the same yarn for the bottom as the chocolate. I had so much fun doing this. The nice thing is too, because they're small, you can whip them up really quick and just love each and every one of them, and they're so adorable. Okay, cupcakes. Okay, here's a vanilla cupcake, and I used this yellowy, creamy color that just reminded me of vanilla cake, doesn't it? Are you getting hungry? I think I am. I've had a craving for a cupcake ever since I made this. And of course, the same white icing and a little bead cherry on top. Look how cute that is. And some sprinkles. Of course, have to have a chocolate cupcake. And there you go, the chocolate cupcake again, a little cherry on top with a few sprinkles. And of course, the same brown yarn. And for the icing, soft and shiny in the colorway Smoky Rose. Doesn't that look delicious? Just love it. Okay, so last but not least, something that is imperative in an orange project. Oranges. Gotta have little oranges. These ones have the leaves still on them, and those go on the platter as well. So that's it. All these yummy pastries, I'll put them back on the platter so you can have one last look. Can you tell I'm loving this? I'm like a little kid. Now let's see. I'm going to put some pastries on each plate. I have to pick and choose. Set them up nicely so you can see what's here. It's so cute. And yummy looking. And so one more look at this beautiful service for our special little girl to be able to have a little picnic. A little tea party. There you go. So that is part 2, and I'm planning on adding a couple more things to this ensemble. So please, if you like this, then give me a thumbs up, and also make sure you're subscribed. And please hit that notification bell to make sure you get notification of all my videos coming up so you don't miss anything else that I'm adding to this set, because I think it's going to be fun and you might want to see it. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it, and I enjoyed showing it to you, sharing it with you, hoping that it inspired you to maybe take a yarn that you're not used to using, something challenging, make something different, really let your creativity flow, because sometimes when you are least expecting it, you could make one of your favorite projects from one of your least favorite yarns, or the one you are least likely to use. It really throws a whole new perspective on the possibilities that are out there that you may not know have existed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.
You're my honey bun, sugar plum, pumpy umby umpkin. You're my sweetie pie. You're my cupcake, gumdrop, snickums, spickums. You're the apple of my eye. And I love you so, and I want you to know that I'll always be right here. And I love to sing 3 songs to you because you are so dear.